Hello, and welcome to another session of OTC from Prescription. Water, drinking water, is the only substance that we know of from a long list of stuff that we eat and drink every day that has no calories, 0 calories, and at the same time is entirely non-toxic. It's therefore but natural that we look at water as a possible remedy for a wide variety of conditions that we encounter in our day-to-day lives. But we need to seriously examine the question whether water really is of value or is it just one of those urban legends that are not supported by fact. This question was asked in an article that I came across recently in the New Atlas, where it attempts to separate what is known and what is true from what is fact fiction or what is just commonly believed without any evidence. When we look at ourselves, about two-thirds, about 60% of our body is essentially made up of water. The water content in the body is constantly being used up for a wide variety of daily activities and metabolic functions and needs to be replaced on a regular basis. In adults, we find that men require roughly around 3 liters of water a day and women a little less, of around 2.5 liters of water every day. But there are some caveats to this requirement, and we need to remember that any and all beverages also constitute liquid intake. It need not just be water. Stuff like your colas, your soft drinks, soups, all come under the daily water intake and should be compounded or factored in whenever we are looking at the amount of water that we drink. In addition, solid food, what we eat every day, also provides us with a lot of water. It's been calculated that about a third of your fluid needs will come out of water that is present in the food that we eat. So when we're talking about daily water and fluid requirements, you need to discount about a third of the 3000 cc's that we saw was the daily requirement. Men need to take about two-thirds of that, maybe around 2 liters every given day. There have been some recommendations made for considering water as being beneficial for treating a wide variety of conditions that we see in daily life, but these so-called putative benefits have not been critically examined. There are regimens that recommend drinking large quantities of water for weight loss, for controlling blood sugar, for treating migraines and headaches, for the management of urinary tract infections, and in those who suffer from kidney stones. There is a popular regimen advocated called the 8x8 rule, which involves taking 8 8-ounce glasses, each glass containing roughly 240 ml every day. This is kept as the target, and if possible, you're required to drink more, and we're talking just water. This is over and above all the other liquids that you take. So this is a fairly large quantity. For some reason, this seems to be a very popular recommendation. But when you look at the research in a rigorous fashion, like in the vast majority of these conditions, there is absolutely no evidence to support it. Weight loss is not benefited, nor is blood sugar control, nor migraines or headaches, or even the management of urinary infections. The only condition where drinking large quantities of water could be of significant benefit to a person is in patients who suffer from kidney stones. Now, we know that we need to take large quantities of water to make sure that the chemical substances that go into forming kidney stones don't precipitate. And to keep it soluble and excreted, it's recommended that patients who have kidney stones or have been known to have kidney stones take large quantities of water. Water intake really is no single one-size-fits-all rule, and it should be personalized. It should be based on individual health needs. Age is a factor. As people grow older, they require less water, and after the age of 60 or 65, the actual daily needs comes down to around 2 liters or so for men and about 1.5 to 2 liters for women. Physical activity levels also play a role. People who do heavy work, heavy manual labor, need to take in more water than those who are pursuing sedentary occupations. The ambient temperature and humidity is also a factor. In very warm, dry climates, you can lose a lot of water from the surface and not be aware of it because you aren't sweating and you can end up with fairly serious dehydration. There are many coexisting health conditions where your water intake actually has to be restricted. Patients with congestive heart failure, kidney failure, liver disease need to have their total water intake kept on the low side because otherwise they run the risk of overloading the body with fluid. And since this fluid cannot be pushed out by your... So in summary, it's essentially just a matter of common sense. Your thirst level and the urine volumes are probably the most useful index. You need to make sure that you're passing urine around 4 to 6 times a day and that the quantities are made up of urine that is relatively clear and not highly concentrated. Roughly about 1.5 liters of urine a day is considered as the normal for a human being. Water-based regimens are mostly fads. There is very little evidence to support any of them, and most certainly the 8x8 rule doesn't hold water. Thank you very much for listening to this presentation. If you liked it, share it with people who may enjoy the same. Please repost it. Subscribe to the newsletter that I bring out so that you don't miss any issues. Archives of past issues are available at my website at present at prescription.com. There is a hyphen between the P and the R. Thank you very much and have a good day.